everyone. You ever stop to think about how a lesson is actually put together? I mean, it can feel kind of random sometimes, but it's really not. Just like an architect has a detailed blueprint for a building, educators use a specific plan to construct a learning experience. It's a deliberate process designed to take you from point A to point B. So let's go ahead and take a look at that blueprint.
So what is that secret blueprint? What's the real difference between just, cramming facts for a test and actually understanding something deep down? It all comes down to a foundational plan that answers this one huge question. How do we actually build a great lesson? And the answer is something called a learning taxonomy. Now, I know that sounds super academic and complicated, but it's really just a classification system. Think of it like a guide for educators. It helps them define and organize the work they want you to do, what you should know, what skills you need to master, and what you should eventually be able to create with all that knowledge.
To make this all super simple, we can break learning down into 3 big areas, or domains. Just think of it as learning with your head, your heart, and your hands. Your head is for the knowing part, your heart is for the feeling part, and your hands are for the doing part. Pretty straightforward, right? Let's break each one down. Okay, first up is the one we're probably all most familiar with from our school days, the cognitive domain. This is all about our intellectual skills, the thinking, the knowing, the head part of our learning journey.
This slide shows it perfectly. See, thinking isn't just one flat thing. It's more like a staircase. We all start at the bottom, just remembering facts and concepts. Then we take a step up to understanding them, being able to explain them. From there, we climb to applying that info in new ways, then analyzing how ideas connect, and evaluating whether a decision or an argument holds up. But the final step, the absolute top of the staircase, is creating, making something totally new and original. And what's really interesting is that this structure is an update. The original model from way back in 1956 actually put evaluation at the very top. But in 2001, it was revised, and creating took the #1 spot. Now, this is a huge shift. It's basically saying the ultimate goal of learning isn't just to judge other people's information, but to generate something completely new from it yourself. But learning is so much more than just thinking. So next, let's get into the world of the heart, the affective domain. This is all about our attitudes, our values, and what motivates us. You could almost call it the emotional engine that drives our will to learn in the first place. Emotional learning also happens in stages. It all starts with just being willing to pay attention or receiving. Then you move on to responding and actually participating. After a while, you start valuing certain ideas, organizing them into your own personal belief system. And finally, you internalize those values so much that they just become a natural part of who you are and how you behave. This quote is a fantastic example of what that valuing stage looks like in real life. It's not just about saying you believe in something. It's about actually proposing a plan and then having the commitment to see it through. It's that moment you turn a feeling into a real action because you've decided it has genuine worth. Okay, and finally, let's get physical. We're moving on to the domain of the hands, the psychomotor domain. This is where we learn how to use our bodies, whether that's mastering a sport, learning to play a musical instrument, or even just getting really fast at typing. Think about learning to drive a car. At first, you're just using your senses to figure things out. That's perception. Then you're imitating an instructor, right? That's a guided response. After a while, it becomes second nature or a mechanism. And before you know it, you're parallel parking like a pro, which is a complex, overt response. Then you can adapt to driving a friend's truck, and hey, maybe one day you could originate some wild new stunt move. It's a really clear journey from beginner to expert. Okay, so we've got the blueprint for learning, head, heart, and hands. But how do educators actually use this to decide what gets taught? How do they go from the blueprint to actually building the building, that is the curriculum? Well, this is the massive challenge. There's an endless amount of knowledge out there, but we only have so much time in a school year. So the people who plan curriculum have to make some pretty tough choices, and they base them on a really clear set of criteria. First and foremost, they're going to ask about utility. Is this stuff actually useful? Is a student going to be able to apply this skill or this piece of knowledge in their life, not just today, but down the road? Next up is relevance. Does this material actually matter in the wider world? Does it give students the tools to solve real problems that society faces? Does it help them better understand the culture and the values all around them? And then, of course, you've got to have a reality check. Feasibility. It's a wonderful idea to teach every kid how to code, but Do we have computers? Is there even electricity? Do we have a teacher who knows how to do it? The greatest ideas in the world don't mean much if you can't actually make them happen in a classroom. And when you boil it all down, it comes back to the student's own point of view. Students get this stuff instinctively. They're constantly filtering what they learn through these super practical questions. Will I need this for a job? Will this help me become a better person? Will it help me? This isn't just theory, it's the very thing that makes learning feel meaningful. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this thought. Just understanding this blueprint, this whole journey from just remembering something to being able to create something new, it can completely change how you approach learning. It lets you be more intentional. So the next time you're learning something new, ask yourself, am I okay just staying on the bottom step of that staircase? Or am I going to aim for the top?